seeing, my biceps and stuff, and that motivated me to want to put on more muscle. But I've always kind of been athletic, but it wasn't until the last few years, my life got a little bit chaotic and I just needed some discipline. So bodybuilding it's an all or nothing kind of thing. And that's exactly what I needed to get me back on track and stuff. So that's when I finally decided to commit to, the meal plans, the training, and all the hard things that go along with bodybuilding.
Yeah. It is a hard thing to go to sport because the one thing I think people talk about with bodybuilding, it is the discipline, the consistency that's involved with it. You have to be, very focused, regimental. And also you say you were wrestling. You were wrestling?
Oh, yeah. I did that for about 5 years. That was a lot of fun. So I did kids club and so freestyle. And then in the summer, I transitioned to freestyle, or I did folk style with the kids club, and then I did freestyle and went on with the ladies team. And I went to nationals there, and I ended up taking first in freestyle 4 years. And 1 year I took first in folk style with the women's team. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, we wrestled, but we were like having fun, like kids wrestling,
Yeah.
I grew up the age, like being from the South, we used to like to watch wrestling. And people are different between there's wrestling, which is more athletic, and then there's wrestling, which is just fun and having good times. Like when I grew up, like watching guys like Ric Flair, woo, the Nature Boy, Hulk Hogan, so much is, but I still like one kid, not as much now. But yeah, it's interesting, and you talk about the cutting weight because I do content on fighters, mixed martial arts, boxing, and they also have to cut weight because you have to come in, especially in weight classes, because you face an opponent, you want to have the same weight class. Like, you were wrestling with the kids thing and the women's thing, and sometimes I think I know some ladies who wrestle. They also have to wrestle guys too. Do you ever did some, guys too in between that?
Yeah, so I did. It was always my goal to qualify for state, and I qualified for state several years with when I was wrestling the guys as well. So that was an accomplishment just because, I was a girl and, some would say it was a little bit of an unfair advantage, but I didn't see it that way. They were an opponent. I was, grab the bull by the horns. Just doesn't matter if they're girl or boy, just go for it.
Yeah, the thing is, societies feel like this as a female, you shouldn't be wrestling against these big old boys, and then there's also there's guys out there who's a little bit perverted, saying like, "Yeah, Morgan, I wouldn't mind wrestling you, and you don't mind if I pin you on your shoulders." You can, because there's people are twisted like that, but it's about being an athlete and you're competing in the sport.
I was pretty good. Once I hit the mat, I think they pretty well knew I meant business. I was going to put the smack down on them.
Lay the smack down under a KBS.
Yeah.
So here comes Morgan. He's about to lay the smack down on your boy. Say, nah, I can take this girl. And say, Mama, the girl beat me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got some people here. Shout out to my man, Russ G. Russ G's photography saying, good morning from South Carolina. Good morning, my brother from South Carolina. He's my neighbor. Here in North Carolina.
Good morning.
Yeah. Also, he shouts to him again. He says this: they older you get, the faster time goes by. I'm 85 years. I know it happens. And also, again, he says this: he says, congratulations on your pro card. We got here from Ruben Andrade. It says good interview. Appreciate that, Ruben.
Yeah, Ruben's. I train with Ruben every day.
Yeah, I admire discipline and effort every day. Yeah, I think he just started following one of my IG accounts. I appreciate it, Ruben. Thank you. That's good. You have support with that. Like, how long y'all known each other?
I think it's been 2 years as of October. So just over 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And is he also competing anytime soon? He just likes to work out.
So he has competed in the past. He competed in Mexico, and he's not competing currently. He just makes sure I stay on top of my stuff, and I'm training hard and eating well. And when I get in my head, he's there to kind of smack me around and say, "You've got this." Like, you can have bad days, but that shouldn't stop you. So, yeah,
he's kind of like a big brother.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you have any family members, like brothers and sisters, mom and dad? What's that like?
I do. I'm not really close with him, but I'm married.
And how long you been married? What's your name?
Oh, his name's Brian. How long? Let me see. Hold on. How long have I been married?
What? Let the boy come in. Come in, son. Come introduce
No,
yourself.
he's
Come
he's
on
over.
in.
He's in the bedroom right now. He's watching
Yeah.
the dogs.
Oh, you're watching the dogs? Okay, let me
Yeah.
watch the dogs.
Yeah.
That's good that y'all been. How long you been together again?
3.5 years.
Oh, that's good. When did y'all meet?
So we worked at a factory together, an airplane factory, and we were kind of in the same area, and so that's how we met. I was spiraling out of control, so he kind of, helped me rein myself back down to earth a little bit. I kind of got caught up in some crazy stuff, but yeah, he saw me for who I am and loved me for everything. And I wasn't even lifting at the time; like I was just like scum of the earth. I was not doing well. I'm not really, but I mean, I was not doing well, and so he saw through all that and took a chance on me and loved me. So once I started lifting and stuff, that was a whole transition to, because he doesn't lift or he doesn't meal prep or anything like that. So trying to get him on board with all this, it took a little while, and then now he's just, he's been my biggest supporter, which is really cool for someone who's not lifting, and just to see this vision out with me, you know.
Yeah. Well, I've interviewed quite a few ladies who had husbands that were not lifters. They just supported their wife or their girlfriend because they loved them and they want to be there for them, doing something that is totally different, out of the norm, especially being a bodybuilder. Because I've been fighting bodybuilding for a long time, and the sport has evolved over the years. Like I grew up at the, like with guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbo, Lou Ferrigno, and those types. And then women like Corey Everson and Minda Murray and Laura Craval. Some the women were the one that kind of got me more interested in it, because there's just something about them. There's something different. We got shout out to my man Ruben. He says this. He says, thanks. And he goes, ja, ja, ja. So whatever that is, brother, appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you find that Brian came in your life because you worked there, place. So he became the pilot. And he kind of bring you down a little bit, huh?
Yeah. He was definitely, he grounded me.
Yeah. So as so when you get into bodybuilding, that really helped you with the stuff you. What was the things you were going through at the time?
So I struggled with addiction pretty bad. Drugs and alcohol. I seemed to trade them both off for each other. And I regret a lot of that. But so I needed something that was going to keep me focused and disciplined. And like I said, bodybuilding is all or nothing. Like, you can't let up. You have to just, put your foot on the gas the whole time. So when I was going through that, obviously I lost friends and family and stuff. So I was pretty isolated with that. But so when I met Brian, he, like I said, he saw through all that. And we just wanted to be better. So we worked on our relationship with God. And just been doing the dang thing.
That's good. That I have quite a few ladies who have dealt with it. Recently had a lady, Leah Joffreys.
I love Leah.
Amazing lady. She also dealt with issues with addiction. Also, she also had a fighting background like yourself. And you switch one addiction for another. It's like from popping pills and drinking to lifting weights and taking supplements. That's bodybuilding can be addictive, especially you go to the gym. And we were talking earlier. Right now, she's dealing with a little cold, so she has to step away from the gym. But that's hard part because you know what? Remember during the pandemic, the gyms got shut down, and a lot of people, that was their place to go. That was their church. That was their second home. That was their therapy, going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
We have your comment shot to my man John Simpkins coming through. He says, happy Sunday, fun day, George and Morgan. Thank you, brother. Also, this is my man here, my brother here, KL the Wonder. He also does content on women in bodybuilding. He got an interview coming up in tomorrow. And he says, morning, George and Morgan. Morning to you, brother. Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. And that's the thing about this. This is really a lot of work. Like that experience for you, that first time, because you gotta think about it, you gotta be on stage. You gotta be halfway butt naked.
Yeah.
You shine lights on it. You oil down a tan. What was that experience like for your first time? What was the show? When was that?
So I knew that I put the work in. So like when I finally got there, I wasn't nervous, but definitely like the weeks leading up to it, you think about, am I lean enough? Am I going to do well? Am I going to fall? Like I started in figure. So it's like, you have to put on heels. I am not a heels. You know what I mean? I'm not a heels type of person. So practicing the walk and all that was hard, and just, fake it till you make it kind of, but I mean, you have to put the work in. And then getting up there half naked, it was a little bit embarrassing because, you have to like put yourself out there. So even posting social media and like half naked is just like, I feel like this is wrong. And plus, like, like I said, like I'm working on my relationship with God. So it's like, how do I work on my relationship with God and still post myself half naked? You know what I mean? I feel like it just contradicts itself. So there's a lot to overcome with all of that. But once I finally got there, it's just like the work had been done. Like this is the end goal. This is what I wanted to do. So I wasn't nervous when I finally hit the stage for the first show, and even at nationals, it was just like, the work's done. Everything's going to be fine. Whatever the outcome is, this is fate. This is what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. I'm not a very religious person. I do have faith. And remember in the Bible, both Adam and Eve was naked in the Garden of Eden. It's not until they beat the apple when they realized the nudity and thought it was wrong because it was a game of knowledge. Being, like I said, you want to see me naked because I look like a hairy bear, but I think the human body is a beautiful thing. All depends on the body. And I think, especially if you're comfortable with it, like I've ladies who do a lot of very more entertaining kind of forms of art, because, like OnlyFans or like that, but that's the way they make their money. And it's just something about, especially if you look at either a man or a woman, how they're built, how the body is moving, how the muscles are. And again, with y'all ladies, and I hate to admit I don't hate to admit my crime. I'll admit my crime to you right here, Morgan. I am a muscle person, y'all ladies. Something about y'all so intoxicating and beautiful. And that's the thing is, the everyday person may not find it beautiful because it's something that's not the norm from them. We have your comment. Shout out to your brother, Ruben. He says this. He says, since I met her, she has been my sister's strength, and I admire and respect her for all her efforts. Even a man gotta cry.
Thank you.
Ruben, it's so beautiful. Shout out to my man here, my man Josh Simpkins. Dropping it. He says, a gym can be addicting once you start seeing results. You just have to keep going. That's the thing is the discipline part of it. I'm not that good with discipline. And then you wear a figure, and you got the high heels on. You got a it's one of the divisions where it combines both the femininity and the muscularity. If you look at it, to physique and women's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what made you switch? Why do you feel like you wanted to switch?
Oh, bigger is better. I love, you know what I mean? No, I really connect with the posing with physique and women's bodybuilding even. I love the muscularity and the detail, and and I respect the discipline so much that those girls have to just really just dig so deep to get there. And a lot of it is genetics too. It's just like, some people are just made for this. So respect all of that. I still love figure. Like the heels and stuff, that's a bit much for me. But I mean, I respect it. You know what I mean? It is beautiful, and all of bodybuilding is art. But what stinks about it is with figure, you get 20 seconds up on stage, in the NPC or whatever. But with physique, you at least get a minute. So it's like, you work so hard for all of this to show yourself, to show your posing and your body and everything. Why not just commit and take the minute? The 60 seconds to just write your routine and just show it off. So that's why I connect with, the little bit bigger girls.
Yeah. I think I know some ladies who they prefer a certain division that fits, especially I think sometimes it's how your body grows. Because some women, they love to be bigger. They want to get the mass. They want to get the full, the full muscle bellies. They want to get the roundness in the shoulders. They want to get that detail, but still maintain that great look of femininity. And that's why some ladies will stick in a division like figure. I've seen some figure girls right now who should go to women's physique. I'm seeing physique competitors go to women's bodybuilding.
Yes.
Bikini girls who should probably go to figure. Wellness, I think some of these can go either way.
Yeah.
If I look at them, because I got a friend, I got to interview with her later. She actually competed in figure, then got a pro card physique competitor, did physique for the first couple of years of her pro years, then did women's bodybuilding, went back to physique, did wellness. Now she's going back to physique, and it's about the process. And I think again, it's about how comfortable you feel about put on mass and muscle. We got here. Shout out to my man Russ G. He said this, not that I can relate because I am a guy, but I like the muscularity on as a fitness photographer and capturing all that hard work. Yes, he does photography out. If you ever interested, maybe if you ever, I know you're very about your image, but if you're ever interested, maybe doing a photo session with him, I sent you his link. Check out. I know a couple of guys who do this because they love the beauty of women and muscle. And that's the thing. It is something, again, people may not think it's beautiful in their mindset, but it's something that's different. It's just like, if you ever seen a sculpture, how, the design of the muscle and everything else, the body, how it's just something amazing.
Yeah, no, it's art. I love it.
Yeah. So, folks, while we get Morgan here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna jump into her social media for a bit. If you want to follow her, links description to this live streams. You want to check her out, reach out to her. But guys, Morgan, I don't do this as a insult to you, but I do this because it's a disclaimer to you guys out there. And I know all you guys love these muscular women. They excite you. Be respectful. No D pics, no sick, nothing. No, don't even sit like, I heard you wrestle. So you like to wrestle? So none of that. Stop that. Come on, guys. Have some common sense. Have some decor. So we're gonna jump into her social media for a bit. And you want to follow her, the links in the description, but be respectful, all right? She's a married lady. So here is right here. This is where you at the the USA Championships. What was that feeling like? When they told you were now IFBB Pro.
It took a while to set in. It was, like I said, it took about 3 weeks for me to really understand and feel that all my hard work was for something.
From right here, you look very impressive. I mean, also I think I interviewed a lady. He also got a pro card there a while back, and I think another lady she got a pro card also, Aranya. I think it was at that same show you did, and she made her pro debut just about 3 weeks later.
Yep.
Yeah, but like I say, you look pretty good. I mean, what was that feeling like on stage?
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. I worked on that routine for quite a while, so just to be able to show it off, and it felt so good. I love posing. If I could do anything within this bodybuilding community, I would love to just get so good at posing and be able to teach posing. But of course, it'll be down the line, and I've got a lot of work to do. But I would love to just keep refining my skills and continue practicing and things like that.
You have a posing coach right now?
I do, yeah. So Michelle Van Kuren, I work with her twice a month. So yeah, I mean, I send check-in pictures and stuff like that to her. But she's a lifetime competitor as well. I think she's been competing for 40 years, and she's been a NPC judge for, I think it's like 12 years. So she's very familiar with all things bodybuilding.
That's pretty good.
She actually just had another competitor qualify for nationals a couple of weeks ago. So she's on a roll.
That's good. It's a thing about when you're a trainer or a coach. You see your athletes, how far they go and how far they accomplish here. Nice shirt, pumped. We're pumped about you, Morgan.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. But here, I saw this while she posted this, and this is something really touches me, especially somebody who, we see when good people do good things. So we're gonna play this video she posted. I want y'all to check it out.
Bless others, he will always return the favor even greater. Yesterday, me and Brian went to Walmart, and there was a young single mother with an infant who came back to the bathrooms crying after just visiting the pharmacy. And I guess they didn't have the prescription for her infant. So she doesn't, her baby's not going to get the medicine he needs. And she was telling me it's just been a really really hard time for her right now. She tried to apply for the Salvation Army Christmas for her baby, and she was having a difficult time getting a hold of somebody. So we didn't have much, but we just had a little bit of cash that we just gave it to her. And the crazy thing is, this morning I was blessed with someone who wants to help me financially with my next competition. So if that right there doesn't tell you that he's always working, and if you're put in a position to bless somebody, always take the opportunity. So if God puts you in a position to bless others, he will always return the favor even greater. Yesterday, me and Brian went to Walmart,
Well,
and there was a young single.
Well, that's great. I mean, I remember a few years ago. This was right, maybe around about before the end of the pandemic. I was out about shopping, and I was in line, and there was this lady. She's right behind me. Yeah, I have, because during the pandemic, because I live on Social Security, I give a little assistance, and they was giving extra, assistance to us. And then, I was about to pay for my food. And she said, "Sir, if that's all you have?" I said, "Yeah, it's just not much because it's just a little for the week." She said, "Sir, I take care of you. I paid for it." She paid for it. And I mean,
Wow.
it's just it's nice when strangers are willing to help you. Sometimes sometimes like there's sometimes you rely on the kindness of strangers. Who's the lady right here? That's your coach?
Yeah, that's Michelle.
Oh, yeah. She's like a nice lady.
Yeah, she is.
Because, you must have been really proud that day when you get your pro card. And,
That was a dream come true.
There's your hubby there kissing you.
Yeah.
I'll be jealous, guys. He gets to kiss her. And that's Ruben right there.
Yeah, that's Ruben. Yep.
Yeah. And like I say, you're very impressive. I mean, what do you feel like is your best feature physically?
Probably my back. Yeah. I feel like I have a lot of density for not having really trained a whole lot. Obviously, like it could be better, but I will say my legs were probably my weakest point, and now they're coming along.
Mm-hmm.
But probably my back.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think quite a few ladies say their back is the best. Sometimes their legs, sometimes their glutes. You have to work on your weakness as much as your strengths.
Yes.
And your coach. Who's your coach? How long you been working with him?
Yeah, so it's just Ruben and Michelle.
Oh, so
yeah.
You don't have a main training coach.
No, we just do whatever we think is best. Work on like right now I'm working on like arms and stuff like that. So we'll bring those up. And if something starts falling behind, we'll work on that. I mean, Ruben's got a really good trained eye too. He sees me every day. So, just train with intensity and, watch social media, see what the judges are looking for. And that's pretty much how we make adjustments.
Also, you work in construction. Yeah. You're wear dime woman working in construction.
So I haul concrete for Midwest Concrete Materials. So truck driver, but yeah, nice. I mean, do a few things.
Yeah. You're a Jane of all trades, huh?
So they say.
Yeah, my older brother, he was the one who really got me about it because when he was around, he used to, he was in our hometown. He was a football star. He was really pretty good. He was always to lift weights. When we were kids, we used to lift cinder blocks and stuff, and then that's how we got into bodybuilding. He was in construction for a long time. He used to drive backhoes and tractors. He worked for a company, ST Wooten, if you've ever heard of it. He worked there for almost 10 years. That was a great company. They really took care of him when he was working there. It's just from my man, shout out to my man here. Ruben says, I saw her pose every day, made me so it says yeah, I'm trying to read it real close. It says Stimmers, her way of posing with music makes you feel connected to her. My man KL says this. He says, "Nice glutes."
Thank you.
And this is from shout out to my man Russ. It says, "Not that I can relate because I think I already read that word earlier." Yeah, shout out to Russ. Appreciate that. But yeah, and how long you been doing the working for this company? How long you been doing construction?
So I started out working for the county. Just holding a shovel. I did that for a couple of years, and then I kind of moved into running like a maintainer, like a road grader for like a year. Left there, went to the ready mix side. I worked for Builder's Choice for a few years, and then we got bought out by Midwest Concrete Materials. And so, and I think I've been in the ready mix side of things for about 5 years, just hauling concrete.
You think about maybe starting your own company?
No, if I do anything, like any sort of company that I'd start, it'd be like a meal prep company, because I love food and I love nutrition. Like I love teaching people about that, but that's probably something that is the most difficult for people to understand, is nutrition and how it's going to affect the way you feel and look. So I don't know. I feel like it'd be kind of a letdown, because, you know, I want to teach people about this, but you know, people don't want to do the hard stuff. So
see, people want something easy, quick, fast, in a hurry. There's no, especially as a bodybuilder, there's no quick, fast, in a hurry. This is a process. It takes time. A good part of it is in not just the gym, but also in the kitchen, about what you're going to eat, your diet, what you're prepping. There's some foods that are not very helpful as a bodybuilder. You know, like I know every bodybuilder, like especially after your show, like, you know, you've been a long prep, and I often actually like, this is kind of learning to the interview. What was that favorite meal you wanted so bad? That thing that was, you was craving, it was calling your name.
it had to be a cheeseburger, and it always is. Every time I do any kind of dieting, it's always just a cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger, pizza, burgers, things like that. You know, just the worst.
So it's the worst, but it tastes so good.
It is so good. Yeah.
But that thing is, it's the thing that can hurt your process, because there's a lot of things that are healthy for you when you're eating that. I mean, it's high in salts, you know, grease, you know, a lot of things, you know, sugar, carbs. You want to maintain a right diet where it's low in this, high in this, more proteins, less sugar, you know, cut down your carbs. You know, you want the right diet. And also you can't eat like a bird. You can't eat like, you know, like you can eat salads. That's good. You know, but you have to eat consume qualities of quite amount of qualities of food.
Yes.
Yeah. We have here, shout to my man here, Ruben. He's sticking in here. Says, there are a few women like her. She trains at 3 a.m. From there, she goes straight to work on the concrete. That's your tutor. That's your brother. He's there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of early mornings for the last couple of years just trying to get ready for this, you know, pro card and stuff. Of course, it was just like on the horizon, and it was just a dream. It was like a vision, you know, something that if I kept with it, it was probably inevitable. It could probably happen. But it's just consistency and doing the same thing, and to be able to train, you know, we had to do it at 2 or 3 in the morning, pretty much every day for the last couple of years, just to get it done. You know, nobody's there, or the gym's damn near empty at that time. So it was convenient. We could kind of do what we wanted. And man, it was brutal, you know, getting towards prep when you're already pretty sleep deprived and you don't have a whole lot of food and you can't sleep anyway. And then you still have to get up and bust your butt at work in the gym. But yeah, a lot of early mornings.
Yeah. What question? Why did you choose USA Championships? Like, you know, because your nationals is coming up around the corner, and there was also a couple other shows that were pro qualifiers.
So I looked at all of the pro shows, and I had a year from the time that I qualified. So I qualified in October of 24. So I don't know if I'm understanding this correctly, but I had until October 25. So I knew that I was going to need to put on some size, because I knew that I really wanted to transition to women's physique more than figure. So I needed a little bit of time where I could just, you know, grow. So that put me, you know, with, you know, a 2-month health phase, a 4-month grow phase, and then get down to business. So, and I looked at USA's because I thought it was going to be a really big show. I wanted to know how I stood against some of the best. Well, that's kind of what I thought. It ended up being not that big of a show. It was a big show, but it wasn't massive like I thought. So, but that's why I initially picked USA's. I thought it was going to be a really big show. I wanted good competition.
Mm-hmm. And you took second in your class, which you know that qualifies you as a pro. And then you just did the overall. I think you win the overall, or
I didn't win the overall. No.
you didn't win overall. So, but you
Nope.
got your pro card anyway. It's like
Yeah.
it's a win. It's a win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We get here a comment from a man KL. He want to ask you